Today we are working on multiplying fractions. When you multiply fractions, it is fairly simple, as you just have to remember to multiply straight across. So the first example we'll be doing is 5/6 times 4/7. So the nice thing is you just multiply numerators and denominators to find your product. 5 times 4 is 20, and 6 times 7 is 42. Now some of you may be thinking, I want to simplify that fraction. I don't require that in my class, but if you want to, you can simplify by dividing top and bottom by the same number. So we're using the giant 1. So I can divide both of these numbers by 2. Remember, you have to have the same number in the numerator and denominator to keep it equivalent. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. 42 divided by 2 is 21. Either of these answers is perfectly acceptable to me. So you may simplify, but you do not have to, because if you simplify it incorrectly, then you could get the answer wrong. Now, not every problem is going to be that simple. When we multiply mixed numbers, you need to take care of certain things first. So, one option for multiplying mixed numbers is to use a generic rectangle and break it into parts and then add the parts together. In your book, they refer to that as method 1. We will focus on method 2. Method 2 is when you turn it into a fraction greater than 1 and then follow the same steps we used at the top. So let's look at the example. 3 1/3 times 2.5. So our first step is to turn these into fractions greater than 1. To do that, you multiply 3 times 3 and then add 1. So you multiply the denominator times the whole number in front and then add the numerator. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 more is 10, and the denominator stays the same. Now we'll do the same thing for the second fraction. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. So we have 5 halves. Now, as we did before, we can just multiply straight across. 10 times 5 and 3 times 2. 10 times 5 is 50. 3 times 2 is 6. Now, once again, some of you may be thinking, I want to simplify that fraction. Other people are thinking, I don't like that it's a fraction greater than 1. I would like to turn that into a mixed number. That's fine. You may leave it like this, or you may make either of those changes. Let's start with simplifying it. I can divide again, just like I did before, by 2/2. Remember, that is equivalent to 1. So 50 divided by 2 equals 25. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we've come up with one possible solution, 2 possible solutions. The last possible solution is to rewrite it as a mixed number. To do that, we put the top number in the box and divide. 3 goes into 25 8 times. That is 24. You have 1 remaining, so your answer is 8 1/3. So that is our third possible answer. 56, 25/3, and 8 1/3 are all equivalent fractions. So all of those are acceptable answers.